Imagine, tomorrow morning, Apple acquires House Targaryen. Tim Cook looks at me and says, "Steve, before we launch another product, could you fix our new executive team?" I thought, how bad could it be? Then someone handed me Daemon Targaryen's resume. Interesting. His biggest achievement? Winning the Stepstones. His biggest weakness? Everything after winning the Stepstones. Before I explain why Daemon wouldn't survive a single week at Apple, subscribe to Timeline Tower. Because unlike House Targaryen, our succession plan doesn't involve dragons. Now here's the first thing I noticed. At Apple, we hire people who challenge ideas. Daemon doesn't challenge ideas. He challenges authority. There's a difference. The moment Viserys became CEO, Daemon stopped acting like an employee. He started acting like the guy already rehearsing his retirement speech. In most companies, people wait for the annual promotion cycle. Daemon spent an entire season treating the Iron Throne like it was an internal job opening, and somehow he still expected a positive performance review. Then I looked at his leadership experience. Commander of the Gold Cloaks. Now that looked impressive, until I realized he introduced team building by turning King's Landing into the world's most aggressive performance audit. At Apple, when we cleaned up a department, we removed unnecessary projects. Daemon removed everything with a pulse. Then came the Stepstones. I'll give him credit. The campaign was bold, decisive, creative, exactly the kind of execution every CEO loves. The problem is, great companies don't measure success by asking, "Did we win?" They ask, "What did it cost the company?" Daemon's answer is usually, "Let's not ruin the celebration with details." And then there's Caraxes. Most executives arrive at work with a MacBook. Daemon arrives with a flying nuclear weapon that screams. HR didn't even ask for a parking permit. They started rewriting the insurance policy. At that point, I closed the resume. Not because Daemon lacked talent, because I've learned something after building Apple. Talent can build great companies. Ego can destroy them. And Daemon never walks into a room alone. His ego always arrives first. The funny thing is, Daemon isn't difficult because he's incompetent. He's difficult because he's just competent enough to believe every rule was written for someone else. I've met brilliant engineers like that. They ignore deadlines, they ignore feedback. Eventually, they ignore reality. Daemon simply upgraded that philosophy to dragons. Look at the way he treated Viserys. Every company has one employee who secretly believes, "I could do my boss's job better." Daemon skipped the secretly part. Every time Viserys tried to lead, Daemon looked at the Iron Throne like it was already reserved under his name. That's not ambition. That's bookmarking your manager's office. Then came the Heir for a Day incident. At Apple, one careless sentence could destroy a product launch. Daemon managed to turn one careless joke into a career-ending HR meeting. And somehow, he still looks surprised by the consequences. That's elite confidence. Then there's something nobody talks about, Caraxes. At Apple, the employee parking lot is full of electric cars. Daemon would somehow explain why a giant red dragon belongs beside the visitor entrance. Imagine explaining that to facilities, or worse, to the insurance company. By this point, my decision was obvious. Would I hire Daemon? Absolutely. He's fearless, creative, decisive. Every company needs people like that. Would I keep him after the first week? Absolutely not. Because great companies aren't built by the smartest people. They're built by people smart enough to know they can't build everything alone. Daemon never wanted to build a company. He wanted to own the throne. And those are two very different ambitions. So here's my final decision. Not hired. Not because he lacked talent. Because if your biggest strength is creating chaos, eventually, the chaos starts managing you. If you enjoyed today's performance review, subscribe to Timeline Tower. Next time, let's hope HR sends me someone without a dragon.